Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to My Comic Book Journey, Episode 4. And today's comic book that we're going to be reviewing, that I'm going to be talking about, is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 212. But before I begin, I just want to say that this is a podcast that I created, and it's pretty much a supplement to the website of My Comic Book Journey, where I talk about my love for comic books and manga. And I made a promise to myself that I would eventually read all these issues that I've bought, comic books that I purchased uh, for many years. And I know that I've been terrible at it, of finding the time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So in 2017, I actually started doing it, and things were going well. But then I noticed that it took a long time just for one comic book. It would take me almost an hour or two just to review, because there's just so many things going in my head, doing research. Then I'd get sidetracked, or I would do a lot of copy editing. And you know what? I said, I realized that from 2017 to just 2023, it's like I would go 6 months of going full force, and I'd stop, and then back again, then I'd stop. And I said, you know what? It would be easier if I could just talk about it without having to edit it, just going with the flow and just talking about my feelings right after I read the comic book. And I figured that things would go better that way. So I think hopefully I will be able to to do as many episodes, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it daily. I have no idea, but the thing is, because I am a VTuber and I'm able to do so many videos, as you probably, if you do follow me, you probably are familiar with my video games and reaction videos. But I do videos anyway. It's easier for me to talk about things versus typing and sitting. I mean, it's not just easier, it's just less time consuming. And that's one of the caveats that I had, is just that of just trying to find the time, right? So I think this is a lot easier for me, because I can talk 15 minutes per comic book. And that's one of the things also I like, is that because this channel is new, even though it's part of my other channel, where my other channel does not have a time limit, because it's a newer channel, YouTube only gives you 15 minutes unless you verify. But I verified, still doesn't allow me to go past 15 minutes. But anyway, it's okay. It's okay, because it's all I need to talk about each comic book and give my thoughts on it. So this one was this issue was released in January 1981. Well, actually released on October 14th, 1980, but the cover date's January 1981, and it was written by Dennis O'Neil, and also featuring the wonderful art of John Romita Jr. I think these two are among my favorites when it comes to partnerships. When it comes to comic books, there's just so many partnerships, but for Spider-Man, I know people look at the McFarlane era, or the Larson era, and even other artists that of theirs being their favorites. But I look at this the Denny O'Neil and the Dennis O'Neil and John Romita Jr. time frame of being special, because this is when Spider-Man has captivated the world pretty much. It's an iconic character. But I think during that time, it was something that there was a different vibe, because back then, of course, comic books were more geared towards children, or people who are young at heart. A lot of people, all age groups. Whereas today, it's primarily for adults. But back then, they would create the character that would fit. That would, I guess, fit the era of, and that was safe for children to read, but at the same time, includes some darker moments, because not all things go great, as many of you know about the Gwen Stacy storyline, and that's just to name a few. But see, there was Gwen Stacy, and I forgot her name. It was a police officer, and I think it was a Web of Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man issue. But anyway, Amazing Spider-Man was definitely the title, even though there was like 3 or several maybe of Spider-Man issues going on. But this one, The Amazing Spider-Man, was the main one, and also this is when they had Spidey, right? Spidey and his friends, Amazing Friends, or something like that, and the cartoon, and I believe then was this created maybe a few years after that ill-fated live-action television series. I don't I don't know those dates of when those were released. I saw a few on YouTube, and it's just, I don't know if it was a popular series or not, but I just, reading Spider-Man through the decades from the 60s, 70s, and 80s and so forth, there's something about the 80s that is just very, and even the 90s, there's something just really special about Spider-Man during that time frame that I really like. And with this issue 212, this one featured the first appearance of Hydro-Man. And Hydro-Man is this character. His name is Morris Maury Bench, and how the storyline went is in issue 211, Spider-Man and Namor were fighting each other, and they were out in the ocean, and as Spider-Man was assisting this naval crew of lowering a generator down to the ocean, things happen where the generator, this heavy generator, which was held by several cables, well, one of these electrical cables just snapped, and while Spider-Man was trying to save everyone and use webbing to I guess prevent people from being shocked, while he was pushing crates around, there were 2 people, gambling behind the crates, and one of them was Morris Bench. And when Spider-Man pushed those crates, knocked out both men, Bench is the only one that went overboard, and no one knew about it. So as he was sinking down to the ocean, the generator went on, and something happened to him. And as Spider-Man found out from one of the other person who just woke up that they were hit by the crate, and that a person went overboard, and everyone thought that Morris Bench would be dead, but Spider-Man dove in the ocean and managed to save Bench's life. But Bench was okay. He was not even showing signs of being hurt or anything, but one thing that was unusual is that he was sweating profusely, and it's not just sweating a lot, it's more like gushing out water, and he wasn't sure what's happening. But one thing is for sure, he was so pissed off about what had happened that he pretty much wanted to take it out on someone. And as he was trying to find answers of what is going on with him, he realized that his body has changed, and he can change himself to liquid. And this was the first appearance of Hydro-Man. very interesting, and in a way, it's like the polar opposite of Sandman. But of course, in this case, water. He can pretty much drip to water and go through pipes and sinks and toilets and whatever that there's water. He can pretty much, travel that way. So of course, he kind of blames Spider-Man for his changes and the people who are on that boat, but he wants his revenge, and this leads Spider-Man and Hydro Man to fight each other. And you wondered, how is Spider-Man going to fight someone that is made of water? And you have to read the issue to find out. But one thing that's very interesting about this issue right here is that after I read it, I was thinking, Hydro Man, I don't think I've really seen him. But then the more I look on the history of the character, I didn't know that he was featured in the film Spider-Man Far From Home, and that when Peter Parker and Mysterio were fighting in the ocean, that was Hydro Man. Granted, it was an illusion, but the thing is that Hydro Man is in that film, live action film. And he's also been on video games such as Quest Pro featuring Spider-Man, Spider-Man 1995, Marvel Avengers Alliance. He's a boss in Spider-Man Unlimited. And he also appeared on the Spider-Man 1994 series. He also appeared in a Fantastic Four episode and the Spectacular Spider-Man episode, and also appears in Ultimate Spider-Man. It's just like, my gosh, he's a character that has appeared. He's part of that Sinister Six. So, and I guess I've really never paid attention to the character because you're so used to seeing, Electro or Scorpion or Lizard, Sandman, Dr. Octopus, and I'm just like, I don't remember Hydro Man ever. Is this someone that just showed out of nowhere and never shows up again? But I realized, wow, this character has appeared multiple times, and it makes sense. And I don't know if there is a way for Hydro Man to ever, I don't know how they would stop him from not gushing out water, but I'm sure S.H.I.E.L.D. has ways of taking care of people with these superhuman abilities. But looking online and just trying to see if the character has appeared recently, and I don't see anything as of recent, but I could be wrong. Well, he was in the Civil War storyline, so that's good to know. He was also in the Spider Island storyline. But other than that, I don't see anything else in terms of recent appearance. But they said he is in the Sinister War storyline. Okay. So, well, that's quite interesting. But for the most part, yes, this is the first appearance of Morris Bench and the Hydro Man, and first battle between Spider-Man and Hydro Man. So, very interesting. Definitely an issue to check out, especially if you are looking for first appearances that are not too expensive. You can probably find this issue because, yeah, it's his first appearance. Something to look out for and look on eBay or wherever you get your comic books. But definitely check it out. Issue 212 from where the cover date's January 1981, but was released back in October 1980, back when comics were 50 cents. Speaking of that, there's a section here. There was an ad about subscribe to Marvel. 4 comic book series for $6.22 a year. Man, that is just crazy. $6.22 for monthly comic books. 4 titles. per year. That's really awesome. Anyway, everyone, you take care, and I will see you later. We were past that 15-minute mark, but I will see you later. Wink, wink, and